guys, today I'm going to show you how to do the pencil shading techniques worksheet. And this is actually in a digital format. Again, if I have a printout and you're at school, you're welcome to use it. And if not, you can print it out on your printer, or you can do it on a piece of notebook paper or computer paper at home, and that's fine too. It has examples of how to do each one. So they're listed right here, as well as a space for you to do your own work. And I'll be showing you a little bit about like how to do this also. So the main thing is this is talking about value. So value is a scale from darkest to the lightest shade. Value creates volume and depth to make a 3D illusion. So instead of just doing smooth shading to make something look 3D, you can also use these various pencil shading techniques instead of just smooth shading. And it also creates value. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to hop to the document camera and I'm going to show you how we are going to do this. Let me see if I can get this up here. There we go. Okay, so this is my pencil shading technique worksheet. Let's say I don't have the printout and I'm going to use a piece of notebook paper. The biggest thing is to make sure you guys are labeling this stuff for me, because if you just turn in work that doesn't have any labels on it, I really don't know which worksheet you were trying to turn in. So at the top, I would write pencil shading techniques. Okay, so it's kind of looking just like this. Then there's basically, let's see, 5 sections. So it says down here, stippling, hatching, cross hatching, back and forth, scumbling, and then the extra one. So that's 5. So what I want you to do is if you have your notebook and you're doing it in a notebook, you're going to copy that. So it would be number 1, stippling, and that's a drawing technique, okay? Leave a space. Number 2, which is hatching. Number 3, which is cross hatching. And then you would just keep going down the list until you got finished. Then you could even take your pencil and draw a long box like you see. You could use a ruler. I just did mine kind of fast. But you could draw exactly how the worksheet is. Then you'd have to leave a big spot like at the bottom or even the next page so that you could do the activity that's listed at the bottom. All right, so let's go ahead and do this worksheet. So number 1 says stippling. Now, stippling is basically where you do dots to create value. You can do this with a pencil, but it makes a horrendous noise and it kind of takes forever. So if you have a Sharpie, I suggest doing it with a Sharpie instead of a pencil. The deal is you want to be careful, because if you have a Sharpie and you are like banging this Sharpie on the paper, it's going to dent the Sharpie and then it's not going to have a good point. So when I do it, I kind of hold it at a slant and then do the dots versus up and down and slamming it, because again, that's making the marker press into like the holder. Okay, so I would start on this side and I make my dots closer together. So you're not actually drawing circles, you're making dots. So I put my dots closer together and then I'm going to slowly start spacing them out. Now, I'm not going to spend the time doing it like this. This is how it's supposed to look, but just for like a quick tutorial video, I don't want to make the video too long. So I would put the dots close together and then I would slowly start spacing it out. So it would look like this whenever you're done. This is the only one you're going to use a marker for. The rest of them are going to be in pencil. So I could put the cap on my Sharpie, flip it over, and I'm going to do hatching. So hatching is basically a slanted line. I use hatching when I'm drawing a lot of times if I'm trying to show texture. So it's like a diagonal line. If you get a little bit outside of it, it's fine. And then as you get towards the middle, you want to start slowly spreading them out. And I usually go back and I add more. And you don't have to change your pressure. This is not about changing like how hard you press. It's literally about line spacing. So the closer the lines are together, the darker the value. The further apart the lines are, the lighter the value. Okay, and I have an example on the front. All right, cross hatching. So I do this the same way, except this time I am going to start diagonal and then I'm going to cross it over. So let's see. So I start with my hatching again. You don't have to have a really, really sharp pencil to do this, honestly, because it's going to get duller. You can do this with mechanical pencils also. I think it takes a little longer with mechanical pencils, but I'm just looking to see if you understand how to do hatching and if you understand that as you space the lines out, it creates a lighter value. All right, let's go the other way. So I'm going to go the other way on here. Still do close together. So this is called cross hatching. It's almost like making an X, right? Okay, and now I'm going to start spacing it out a little bit more. Okay, so now I got my cross hatching. All right, back and forth, what did I do for that? Oh, that basically just means all directions, like a smooth shading. So I would go ahead and let's say I could press darker. So this is the one we're probably going to use different pressure for. So I press darker and then I slowly lighten up how hard I am pressing. And I'm using the side of my pencil. If you're doing like a smooth shading, you don't want to have a really sharp pencil because it will just make a bunch of lines and that is going to be more work for you. So I usually then, go the opposite way, almost like a cross hatching, but I'm using the side of my pencil and purposely trying to get rid of the lines. And in cross hatching, you're purposely trying to show the lines. I can even go the other way. When you make something darker, you want to do it in layers. You don't want to just make it like really dark all at once because it's too shiny. Okay, scumbling. Scumbling is actually where you do little circles. So what I'll do is I will make my pencil go in sort of like a circular motion. And as I get further out, I'm going to lighten it up. So you don't actually really have to have much of the circles showing. And I'm not drawing really individual circles. Like I've seen people just like do circle, circle, circle. It's going to take forever. Don't do that. So I'm going to just go ahead and lighten. And a lot of people are like, oh, this looks scribbly. It looks bad. Well, it's just another drawing technique. I actually use this. I'll try to take a picture. It's in my house. A project that I did using Scumbling, and it turned out really well, and it's drawing. Okay, so make sure you get dark to light. All right, last but not least, it says, draw one object in the room that shows value. Choose one of the following or one of the shading techniques above to use in your drawing. Try to show a dark, medium, and light value. Okay, so what I'm going to do, where'd my coffee cup go? All right, I got my coffee cup. Because, guys, I always drink coffee. It is. So I set it in front of me. It could be anything that you have, like, with you. It could be, like, a pencil. Well, pencil's kind of hard, but it could be any object that you have with you. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to try to draw it how I see it, a little bit three-dimensional. So I've got my coffee cup here. This is one of my shorter ones. I actually have, like, a lot longer. Now, I noticed that this bled through the paper down here. That's fine. Just try not to get it on the table. If you get it on the table, it's not the end of the world. We have to clean these tables off anyway. But, I don't know. We just try to make it as clean as possible. All right, so here's like the side of my coffee cup. I'm drawing it as best as I can on a, short period of time here. All right, so I got like a sketch. And then I'm looking for the darks and the lights. And there's a lot of light reflecting right now off of this coffee cup. But I know it's pretty dark in the inside because my coffee's in there. So I'm going to use just the smooth shading because I like smooth shading. So I'm going to try to make it as smooth as possible in here. And obviously, when I do these videos, sometimes I go a little bit too fast, but I'm trying not to use up all of your time. So I'm going to go the opposite direction. Try to make it a little darker because, again, I'm making things darker by doing this in layers. Okay, and then I would try to do, like, on the coffee cup, it looks like a little darker at the bottom, and then it fades to, like, a lighter up here because I guess my light's reflecting off of it. So I'm going to try to highlight those different changes. So I've got some highlight over here, dark, medium, and light. Again, I'm coloring in different directions because I chose to do the smooth shading you don't have to. You can do the hatching or the cross hatching or the scumbling, however that works for you. And then I would need to finish this. I'm not going to finish this all right now because I want to make sure that you get to your work. I could even draw the background like it on my table here if I wanted to. I'm not drawing my ugly wallpaper. It's like terrible. It's like checkerboard. Oh gosh, if you could see this wallpaper, I'll have to show you sometime. It's awful. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to finish the worksheet. And then when you're done, you're going to take a picture of this so that I can check it. Thanks so much.